What honest mistake will you never forgive yourself for? The day I lied for my best friend was the day I lost myself forever. Christian and I had been inseparable since we were 8 years old. The kind of friendship where you finish each other's sentences and know exactly what the other is thinking with just a glance. We used to race bikes through the woods behind his house and spend entire summers building elaborate tree houses that we swore would last forever. He was there when nobody else was. When I was 16, my mom's prescription pill addiction spiraled completely out of control. She'd steal money from my college fund, forget to buy groceries for weeks, and once left my 10-year-old sister alone for 3 days while she disappeared on a bender. Christian was the only person who knew the truth. He'd show up with bags of groceries, pretending his mom accidentally bought too much. He'd forge my mom's signature on school forms, drive my sister to her dance classes, and once even paid our electricity bill when the lights got shut off. One night, after I found my mom passed out in the bathtub with the water still running, I asked Christian if he'd help me get custody of my sister if I went to child services. He didn't hesitate. He said yes immediately. That night, we made a blood pact. We each owed the other one favor. Anything, anytime, no questions asked. We even cut our palms and shook on it like idiots. I never imagined he'd collect. After I got custody of my sister, life slowly pieced itself back together. I became a pediatric nurse, moved into a decent apartment downtown, and started dating someone who actually treated me right. Christian, though, he spiraled. He dropped out of college, started hanging around people who made my skin crawl, and always seemed to have money despite never holding down a job. We drifted apart, but whenever we did talk, I could still see glimpses of the kid who saved my life until the call that changed everything. Christian called me at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. His breathing was ragged, like he'd been running. "I need you," he whispered. "Remember our pact?" My blood went cold. He told me his ex-girlfriend Chloe had gone missing. The police were asking questions. He swore up and down that he had nothing to do with it, that she'd been mixed up with dangerous people, probably ran off with some dealer. But then he said the words that made my stomach drop. "I need you to tell them I was at your place all weekend, that we were binge-watching shows and ordering pizza." Every instinct screamed at me to hang up. Chloe was only 19, barely out of high school, sweet kid who worked at the coffee shop near my hospital. But Christian's voice cracked when he reminded me about my sister's dance recital he never missed, about the time he confronted my mom's dealer so he'd stop coming around, about everything he'd risked for me. "You owe me this," he said, "and God help me." I said yes. The next afternoon, I sat across from Detective Pickle in a sterile interview room that smelled like burnt coffee and desperation. My scrubs were still damp with sweat from my shift, but I blamed it on the broken AC at the hospital. I told her Christian had crashed at my place all weekend. We'd watched some true crime documentary. Ironic, right? Ordered pepperoni pizza from Giuseppe's. I even mentioned how he'd spilled ranch on my couch because details make lies believable. Detective Pickle barely looked up from her notepad, but I caught her exchanging glances with her partner through the one-way mirror. When she asked what time he'd left Sunday night, I said around 10 p.m. because he had work in the morning. The lie tasted like copper in my mouth. I texted Christian as soon as I got to my car. "It's done. Please tell me you're innocent." He responded instantly with a string of heart emojis and "You saved my life. Chloe's fine. She just ran off. You'll see." But that night, I couldn't sleep. I kept picturing Chloe's face on a missing poster. 2 days later, my coworker Jenny pulled me aside during break. Her cousin was a forensic tech, and word was spreading through the grapevine. They found blood in Christian's car. Not much, but enough. And Chloe's phone had last pinged from a tower near the old quarry outside town. The same quarry where Christian and I used to skip stones as kids. My hands shook so badly I dropped my coffee. Jenny thought I was just shocked. She had no idea I'd just become an accessory. That evening, 3 of Chloe's friends messaged me on Instagram. They'd seen my old photos with Christian. One girl, Aisha, sent me screenshots of texts Chloe had sent her the night she disappeared. "If something happens to me, it was Christian. He's been following me. I'm scared." Another friend sent voice messages Chloe had left, crying about how Christian wouldn't accept their breakup, how he'd shown up at her job, at her gym, even at her little brother's soccer practice. The last message made my blood run cold. He said if he can't have me, nobody can. I threw up in my kitchen sink, and I called in sick for the next 3 days, paralyzed by what I'd done. But the worst part of me still wanted to believe Christian. Still wanted to think this was all some misunderstanding. That's what happens when someone saves your life. You can't imagine them taking someone else's. A week later, they found her. The jogger's dog led them to a shallow grave near the quarry. Chloe had been strangled with her own scarf, the purple one with butterflies that she wore everywhere. The medical examiner estimated she'd been dead since the weekend I'd alibied for Christian. Since the exact hours I'd sworn he was on my couch, safe and harmless, watching TV. I know what I have to do now. I have to walk into that police station and tell the truth. I have to face what I've done, what I've helped him do. I owe it to Chloe, to her family, to the girl I used to be before I became someone who covers for killers. Christian saved my life once, but I helped him end Chloe's. That's a debt I'll never be able to repay. The full story is on my channel, linked below.